this episode is going to be all about helping you to lift your head up, step back and clarify where you are going. Because the role of the CEO isn't just to work harder, it's to define the future and it's to lead others there. Vision matters more than what you might think. It's not fluffy, it's not optional, it's your North Star for decision making, for team momentum and for alignment as well. Your big vision might sound something like this. In 5 years, I want to be running a referral-based family-focused practice known in the community as the go-to place for subluxation-based nerve system-first chiropractic, okay? But if you want a practice that grows without burning you out, you must spend time in the CEO seat, and this begins with vision. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Marketing Your Practice podcast, the podcast where I have the pleasure of simplifying the marketing and the mindset so you, the chiropractor, can increase your income, your impact, and your enjoyment in practice too. Now, this is part 3 of a series called the Chiropractic CEO Code. It's a 7-part mini MBA designed to help you step out of technician mode and to start leading your practice like a true CEO, okay? Now, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, you're adjusting, you're showing up for your team, even doing some marketing, but the practice is still not moving forward, then this episode is going to shine a light on maybe why that might be. Today, we're going to be talking all about vision and direction and why this is one of the most underrated and most skipped but most powerful parts of becoming a true chiropractic CEO, okay? Now, before we dive into today's topic, I want to give you a quick reminder of the 3 roles that every chiropractor plays at some stage in their practice. The first of this is the technician. This is the person delivering the care. This is the person finding the subluxation, correcting the subluxation, communicating. They are the heart of the practice. They're the ones doing the work, okay? And it's essential that we be extraordinary technicians. The next role is the manager. Now, the problem is often when we are being the manager, we think we're being the CEO. Now, the manager oversees the team. The manager solves problems, making sure things get done. But often this turns into micromanaging, okay? You're still the one checking in, following up, and carrying all the weight. Where I want to invite you towards is the CEO. The CEO sets the direction, casts the vision, they create the systems that are necessary. They empower others to deliver the outcomes without needing constant oversight. Imagine that for a moment. If everybody on your team did what they were supposed to do without needing the oversight. This is a dream scenario for many of us as chiropractors. Now, most chiropractors live in the first 2, technician and manager, because this is where the doing all happens. But if you want a practice that grows without burning you out, you must spend time in the CEO seat. And this begins with vision, okay? Now, let me share you a story, okay? I speak with chiropractors each and every week, those wanting to grow their practice, to expand their impact, their income, and their enjoyment. Many of these from the outside look like they have a really solid practice. There's good retention. There's a steady flow of new patients. From the outside, everything looks like it's working, but it's not. When I ask them what are their goals for the next 12 months, most of them pause, okay? They look at me as though I've just asked them, do ghosts exist? Honestly, most of them answer and say something like this: I'm just trying to make it through the week. Now, I get it. You're adjusting all day. You're managing the team. You're chasing up marketing. You're answering the never-ending string of questions. Making it through can feel like an achievement in itself, okay? But here's the thing. You cannot build something great if your head is always down. Let me say that again. You cannot build something great if your head is always down. You need to be able to look up, set your sights on the horizon, and lead your practice forward with purpose. Because when you don't have a clear direction, your team doesn't know what they're working towards. Your marketing gets reactive and inconsistent, and you end up building a business that you don't actually want. There's no point in that. Now, this episode is going to be all about helping you to lift your head up, step back and clarify where you are going. Because the role of the CEO isn't just to work harder, it's to define the future and it's to lead others there, okay? I'm going to say that one again as well. The role of the CEO isn't just to work harder, okay? It's to define the future and it's lead others there, okay? Now let's talk a little bit about what vision really is and why most chiropractors underestimate it. Vision isn't a motivational poster. It's not something that you write once on a business plan and then forget about it. It's not just a collection of lofty ideas. Vision is your North Star. It's how you make decisions. It's how your team knows where you're headed. It's how you decide what you say yes to, and just as importantly, what you say no to. Now, without a clear vision, you say yes to too much and you get pulled in dozens of directions. Okay, so if this sounds familiar, that there's a million things on your to-do list you don't know what to say yes to or no to, then possibly it's a vision problem. Your team is going to start making up their own version of what matters, and this means there's not alignment, okay? Your marketing becomes reactive. You post what you feel like rather than what aligns with your strategy. And worst of all, you end up building a practice that doesn't actually feel like you. And this is incredibly sad and exhausting and ultimately leads to burnout. Now, this is what I've seen over and over again. Chiropractors getting stuck in this loop of busyness without progress, okay? This is, for most of you, this is not a problem that you're not working hard enough. Most chiropractors who I know that want to grow the practice are not lazy. You're working plenty hard enough, but the hard enough isn't being supported with progress, okay? There's no intentionality about it. And when this happens, I want you to know that burnout is just around the corner. But when you have a really clear vision, you're going to feel more grounded. You're going to feel more confident. Your team will be able to rally behind a common goal. This means there will be alignment. So there will be a team that's greater than the sum of its parts. Your decisions become way easier because they're guided by direction and not by emotion. And your practice stops just running and it starts moving, which is what we want, okay? Now, when most chiropractors hear the word vision, they think either too big or they think of too small. There's 3 types of vision that you need, and I'm going to encourage you to sit down and take some time to think about, okay? Most chiropractors are either trying to map out the next 10 years in detail, okay, or they confuse it with just this week's to-do list. So the 2 ends of the spectrum there. They're thinking about 10 years or they're thinking about next week. The truth is, you need 3 levels of vision to lead your practice well, okay? The first one we'll call big picture vision, and I want you to think somewhere around 3 to 5 years. 3 years is enough time to revolutionize what your practice looks like. It can look completely different to what it does right now. All the troubles, all the pain, all the fear, all the frustration that you have in practice right now can have disappeared in 3 years if you set a vision and you work it, okay? So this is the high level dream. If everything went right, what would your practice like? What would you like it to look like in 3 to 5 years' time? For example, your big vision might sound something like this. In 5 years, I want to be running a referral-based, family-focused practice known in the community as the go-to place for subluxation-based, nerve system first chiropractic, okay? We've got 2 adjusting rooms humming, a part-time associate who shares our values, a rock-solid team of CAs who lead the culture. I'm adjusting just 3 shifts a week and I'm spending 1 day on CEO work, okay? We're generating in excess of $750K of revenue. I'm taking 6 weeks off each year and the practice keeps on serving at a high level while I do that. But more than that, we're changing the health status of local families and we're creating a workplace where the team is proud to be a part of, okay? Now notice how this vision here touches on so many different things: the structure of the business, the type of care you're delivering, the revenue you need to fund it, and the lifestyle that it supports, okay? This is what the big vision is really all about. It's clarity on where you are heading. Okay, so now once you have clarity on where you're heading, you can then start to reverse engineer. We can ask questions. Who are you serving? What kind of care are you delivering? What does your team look like? And what role are you playing in the business? This is not about getting it perfect. I want to be really clear about this. It is a work in progress. It's about lifting your eyes, though, above the daily noise, and it's reconnecting to possibility. It's a lovely experience, okay? So that's our big vision there, our 3 to 5 years. Now, the next sort of vision you need to be thinking about is our 12-month destination, okay? So we want to bring it a little bit closer. What would a successful year look like for you from today? What key numbers would tell you that you're on track? What projects need to be finished? What would make you say this was a great year? So if we continue on from that 3 to 5 vision that we had beforehand, the 12-month destination might look like this. by the end of this year, I want to be seeing 150 patient visits per week consistently, with 50% of them being families. I've hired and trained a CA who can confidently run the front desk and manage our reactivation system. We've launched our first workshop series, and we've built a referral campaign that brings in at least 5 new families every month, okay? And I've now protected a 90-minute CEO block in my week where I focus on building the practice, not just adjusting in it, okay? So see how we've taken a 3 to 5 years and we've brought it down into what this would look like. This level of vision makes the big picture feel even more real. It gives you something tangible to aim at and something that you can build projects around, okay? This level of vision also helps you to create boundaries, okay? It'll let you say, this idea sounds good, but it's not for me, all right? So it buys you back an enormous amount of time. Now, the third level of vision that you need to have is your 6-week projects, okay? This is where the vision turns into action. Vision without execution is fantasy, okay? So ask, what clear project can I complete in the next 6 weeks that's going to move me towards my 12-month destination? It could be improving your new patient experience. It could be your first reactivation campaign. It could be training your CAs to take over a system that you're still currently running. This rhythm, big picture, 12-month, 6-week sprints creates clarity. It creates focus and it creates forward movement, but it does this without overwhelm. There's something magic happens when this alignment happens here as well. Once you've got clarity on your 12-month destination, the next step is to ask this: what projects can I complete in the next 6 weeks that will move me forward? So let's stay with that same example we said beforehand. In the next 6 weeks, I'm going to build and launch our reactivation system. This means mapping out the process, drafting the emails or SMS scripts, and training my CA to run it, and scheduling our first reactivation campaign, okay? Now, this is specific, it has a clear outcome, and it directly supports the 12-month goal, which directly supports the 3 to 5 year plan. This is how you keep momentum going without overwhelm, okay? Now, it's not about doing an enormous number of things in these 6-week sprints here, because we're going to have a lot of these 6-week sprints. We're probably going to have, 10 or so of them throughout the year. And if we just pick one important thing to do each and every 6-week sprint, when we get to that 12-month, we can have moved an enormously long way, okay? Now, you're not trying to solve everything, okay? You're just about making steady progress. Now, vision is something that needs to be shared and lived, okay? So now once you've got a vision, the next challenge is it cannot stay inside of your head. Too many chiropractors keep their vision private, okay? They journal about it, they think about it, but they never go about speaking about it out loud. And if your team doesn't know where your practice is going, they're either going to make it their own direction, they'll focus on tasks instead of purpose, or eventually they'll lose motivation and drift. And this is why good people don't stay with you, okay? You cannot build a winning team without a shared destination. So here's what it looks like to live your vision as a CEO. The first thing is you need to mention it often. Team meetings, one-on-one, even when you're making decisions. Hey team, the reason we're doing this is because it moves us towards X, Y, and Z, okay? We use it to create alignment. If your vision is to become the go-to family wellness practice in your area, your marketing, your hiring, and your systems should reflect that, okay? Now, it's important that we give space to let our vision evolve but not disappear. Your vision may well, and mine always has, shifted as I grow, okay? But it never vanishes. It's a work in progress. I get more clarity on it as I move forward. As I reach one level, I get more clarity in around what I need the next level to look like. So again, it does not have to be perfect, but here's the magic. The more you share it, the more real it becomes, not just for your team, but for you as well, okay? And again, a part of this is sharing this with your practice members. All right, so let's bring all of this home. Today, we've covered 3 really big ideas. Vision matters more than what you might think. It's not fluffy. It's not optional. It's your North Star for decision-making, for team momentum, okay, and for alignment as well. You need to have 3 layers of vision. You need to have your 3 to 5 year big picture, your 12-month destination, and your 6-week projects to bring all of this to life, okay? And third and finally, vision is something that must be shared and lived. If it stays inside your head, it dies. So this means we need to speak it, repeat it, and let it guide your team and your decisions, okay? So here's your action step for this week. Block out somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes for some CEO time and answer these 3 questions. If everything went right, what would you like your practice to look like 3 to 5 years from now? Just sit and ruminate on that as well. Second question, what would a successful year look like? And the third question is, what's one 6-week project that I could get started on right now that would move me closer to that direction? Write it down. And again, bonus points if you share this with your team or a trusted colleague as well. Now, next week, we're going to dig into marketing and visibility. This is how you attract the right people into your practice in a way that's aligned with your vision and your values, okay? You do not need to be a marketing expert, but you do need to know how to lead it. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thanks for all that you do. Keep saving lives, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye. If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come and check out my Community Influencer Program. It's my monthly coaching program where we take all this material and I'll work with you to help you apply it, implement it, and systemize it. The Community Influencer Group Coaching Program is designed to help you increase your practice income, impact, and enjoyment. Join me over at anguspyke.com/join. That's anguspyke.com/join. I'd love to see you there.